Imagine discovering that a group of foreign hackers was quietly infiltrating websites around the world, all from a rented house in Singapore, right under our noses. This isn't just a tech thriller. It's a real-life tale of cyber intrigue that raises serious questions about digital security and international crime. But here's where it gets controversial. Were these so-called amateurs simply pawns in a larger game, or did their actions cross lines that even ethical hackers avoid? Stick around to dive into the details, and you'll see why this case might change how we view online vulnerabilities forever. In a shocking turn of events, a Vanuatu citizen named Xu Liangbiao, aged 38, recruited 3 Chinese nationals, Peijian, Liu Yuqi, and Huang Qin Zheng, to travel to Singapore and investigate what he called sites of interest for weaknesses. These sites weren't random. They included sensitive targets like government portals from Australia, Argentina, and Vietnam. The goal? To exploit any flaws, launch penetration tests, think of it as trying to break into a digital fortress, and pull out personal data from the systems they breached. For beginners, penetration testing is a common practice in cybersecurity where experts simulate attacks to find and fix holes, but here, it was done illegally for profit. Law enforcement sprang into action in September 2024, arresting the trio during a raid at their residence in the Mount Sinai neighborhood, near Holland Road. Authorities uncovered evidence linking them to an organized crime syndicate involved in malicious online activities. Surprisingly, Yang's laptop revealed chats about exploitable domains, while Liu's device held a private email exchange between officials from Kazakhstan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and its Ministry of Industry and Infrastructure Development. This shows how these hacks could compromise international diplomacy, potentially exposing sensitive communications that nations rely on for security. Xu, the mastermind, had bolted from Singapore just a day before another arrest in a massive $3 billion money laundering scheme hit the headlines. His location remains a mystery, leaving investigators to piece together his empire. In November 2024, the court delivered sentences. Liu, 33, got 2 years, 4 months, and 4 weeks behind bars, while Huang, 37, and Yang, 39, each faced 2 years, 4 months, and 1 week. All 3 pleaded guilty to 4 charges, including unauthorized computer access and offenses tied to organized crime. Deputy Public Prosecutors Han Yi, Chia Wenjie, and Sean Lim emphasized that the group avoided directly targeting Singaporean sites, perhaps out of fear or respect for their host country. But here's the part most people miss. Despite their tools, these hackers weren't the elite operatives you'd expect. Defense attorney Lee Tek Leng argued they achieved little success, noting that before arriving in Singapore, they'd never attempted hacking and lacked the know-how to crack computers effectively. Yet, police painted a different picture, seizing advanced malware like PlugX, a type of remote access Trojan, or RAT for short, and hundreds of rats across multiple virtual machines. For those new to this, a RAT is malicious software that lets attackers sneak into a computer remotely, gaining control like a hidden puppet master. PlugX is infamous in cyber circles, often linked to state-backed hacking groups in persistent threats, such as those stealing secrets over long periods. Xu's motivations were driven by greed. He started with online gambling platforms, aiming to harvest user data to lure bettors to his own setups. Then, he shifted to SMS service firms, eyeing ways to hijack two-factor authentication, a security layer that sends codes to your phone for logins. He zeroed in on a Chinese company called Yimai, which handled messages for major gambling operators. Prosecutors explained that Xu directed the trio to scout for vulnerabilities, launch attacks, and extract data like names, emails, phone numbers, and login credentials, all to boost his profits. Their process was methodical. First, compiling lists of domains and subdomains. Next, scanning for flaws using free tools and rating them by how easy they were to exploit. Then, striking by pulling data directly or planting rats. Evidence from Huang's computer, for instance, included stolen details from a Philippine power company's customers, names, addresses, contact info, and billing records. They even snatched traffic data from Yimai, showing the sheer volume of SMS activity. And this is where it gets controversial. The trio claimed they knew their deeds were illegal but steered clear of Singaporean sites, feeling it was wrong while in the country. They also dodged government domains to avoid drawing heat. Yet, prosecutors called them the main engine of Xu's shady operations, despite their inexperience. Yang brought some IT background, and Liu had self-taught web design skills, but none were pros. Xu hooked them up with fake work permits, Yang as a sales rep, and Huang and Liu as construction workers, without their full knowledge. They arrived in Singapore by September 7, 2022, headed home for Chinese New Year 2023, and returned by May that year. Xu even had an assistant rent the Mount Sinai house for their base. To keep up appearances, they forked out about $2,000 monthly from early 2024 to pretend they were in legitimate jobs. In a twist, Xu paid them $3 million in cryptocurrency, equivalent to around 3.9 million Singapore dollars, on September 5, 2024, for work dating back to May 2023. They planned to divvy it up among themselves. Just days later, on September 9, police raided and arrested them, finding rats connected to the notorious Shadow Brokers Group, active since 2016 and known for exposing NSA vulnerabilities. Yang's lawyer, Kelvin Ong, called them epic failures who flopped on their objectives, while Li reiterated they came without criminal intent and struggled due to lacking expertise. This case sparks heated debates. Should we blame the hackers as willing participants, or view them as naive recruits exploited by someone like Xu? Is it fair to jail inexperienced individuals who owned up to their mistakes, or does the possession of powerful tools make them equally culpable? What if Xu's operations were unknowingly aiding bigger players, like state actors? Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the sentences were too harsh, or do they send the right message about cybercrime? Let's discuss, agree or disagree, and why.